Hello, welcome students for second part of this chapter, some basic concepts of chemistry. Yes, in yesterday's class, what we discussed? So we discussed about matter, what is matter, and the classification of matter. Matter can be classified into solid, liquid, and gas based on physical properties, based on chemical properties, elements, compounds. So atoms and molecules also we discussed. Mixers and types of mixers, that means homogeneous mixer and heterogeneous mixer, and properties of matter. This is important. Properties of matter means physical properties of matter and chemical properties of matter. This one also discussed. Next, SI units. SI units. These topics discussed in yesterday's class. Now, in today's class, I am going to explain about uncertainty in measurement. Uncertainty in measurement. It is new topic for you. Precision, accuracy, and significant figures. How to calculate significant figures? There are some rules to calculate the significant figures. Scientific notation, dimensional analysis, laws of chemical combination, and Dalton's atomic theory. So these topics I will explain one by one in this class. Okay, first of all we will see uncertainty in measurement. So that means if you are doing any experiment, so in the measurement of some value there will be some uncertainty. That means every experimental measurement has some uncertainty, some amount of uncertainty associated with it. What is this? Every experimental measurement has some amount of uncertainty associated with it. Uncertainty means like error. So whatever experiment you do, there will be some error. So one would always like the results to be precise and accurate. So that means everybody will always try to get the result without errors. That means without uncertainty. So everybody will try to get most precise value, most accurate value. Suppose for you any experiment given means what you will try? You will try to get correct value, not value with error, more error. You will try to get more accurate value, more precise value. So you don't know precision and accuracy. So I will explain that topics now. Precision means it refers to the closeness of various measurements for the same quantity. That means what is precision? Refers to the closeness. Precision refers to the closeness of various measurements. So you take first reading, second reading, and third reading. Same experiment you did 3 times. So 3 times you will get same values, close value. That means values nearby. Then that means your values are most precise. So precision is more. So what about accuracy? Accuracy is the agreement. Accuracy is the agreement of a particular value to the true value of the result. So you in meaning wise you will confuse, both will same, not same. There is some difference between precision and accuracy. Precision means closeness of various measurements. Accuracy means agreement with a particular value. So we will take with one example. For example, true value for a result is 2 grams. That means for you, suppose 3 students there, A, B, C. There are 3 students. For 3 students, one experiment given. You calculate the mass of some substance given. some substance X. So what is the mass of this X? What is the mass of this X? So student A did that experiment, he got some value. So student A, he got the value 1.95. Same student A, again he did second time experiment. What he will get the value 1.93. First time he got 9.95. Second time he got 1.93. So 1.95, 1.93. Their closeness. So near closeness is more. Closeness is there. So what is the average? 1.940. Second student you will see B. Another student B did and calculated one time. First time he got the value 1.94. Second time he got the value 2.05. Variation is too much. 1.94, 2.05. There is no closeness between these two trials. One time he tried 1.94. Second time he got 2.05. Closeness not there. So precision is less here. Here precision is more. Next, student C 2.01, 1.99. Here also closeness. So here also precision is there. So precision means closeness. First time, second time, third time, fourth time, how many times he did, you will got same values, nearby same. Closeness, that means precision. What about accuracy? What about original mass given? I given one mass 2 grams. I am expecting 2 grams. But A got 1.940. It is not accurate value. B got 1.995. It is accurate. Near to 2 grams it is there. Accurate. C exactly got 2 grams. So C is more accurate. So that means you observe the result of A, B, C. 3 students they did experiment. So once you compare these 3 students, A values are more precise. A values are more precise. B values are more accurate. C values are both precise and accurate. Values of C, student C got the value, that value is more precise and accurate. So now you got the clarity. Precision means closeness. Accuracy means agreement with original value. Original value 2 grams. C also got 2 grams. That means more accurate. Okay. So this is about precision and accuracy. Our next topic is a very, very important topic. Significant figures. Significant figures. Calculation of significant figures. In exams, in year-end exam also, you will get one question definitely from this area. Important. It is important topic. So same significant figures in physics also you will get. In physics also same topic is there. Now the uncertainty in the experimental or the calculated value is indicated by mentioning the number of significant figures. What is this? Uncertainty in the experimental. Uncertainty in the experimental or the calculated values is indicated by mentioning the number of significant figures. You will get more clarity after taking some examples, some rules. So significant figures are meaningful digits which are known with certainty. So what is the definition? Significant figures are meaningful digits which are known with certainty. For example, the uncertainty is indicated by writing the certain digits and the last uncertain digit. You take this example 11.2 ml. 11.2 ml. Result as 11.2 ml. Result is 11.2 ml. We say that 11 is certain and 2 is uncertain because after 0.2 it may be 1 or 2 or 3. So this value is uncertain, only 11 is certain. So that meaning the uncertainty is indicated by writing the certain digits and the last uncertain digit. So you will see rules for determining the number of significant figures. So try to understand these rules. So these rules are important. So questions in exam also will come from these rules only. So first one, all non-zero digits are significant. All non-zero digits are significant. You see, for example, 285 centimeters. In 285 centimeters, how many non-zero digits are there? 1, 2, 3. So number of significant figures are 3. So don't write 285 like that. You have to write number of significant figures 3. One more I will explain. 114 grams. So how many significant figures are there in 114? How many digits there? 1, 2, 3. Significant figures are 3. So one more example, 25.46. 25.46. This one is ml, like this you will take milliliters. So how many digits are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 digits. So that means number of significant figures are 4. So what is the first rule? All non-zero digits are significant. It is the first rule. Remember, I will ask after completion of 5 rules. So second, one more example you see. In 0.25 ml, there are 2 significant figures. 0.25 ml. Here non-zero digits are how many are there? Only 2 are there. So there are 2 significant figures. Okay. So second rule, zeros preceding to first non-zero digit are not significant. This point is important. Zeros preceding to first non-zero digits are not significant. Such zero indicates the position of decimal point only. So what is meant by preceding? First you have to know preceding to first non-zero digit. Here you see 0.03. The 3, before the 3. So that means this and this. These are called preceding. Zeros preceding to what is the non-zero number here? 3 is non-zero number. So before this 3, how many zeros are there? 2 zeros are there. Zeros preceding to first non-zero digits are not significant. So no need to count these 2 zeros. So how many numbers are there now? Only 1. Therefore 0.03 has only one significant figure. Only one significant figure. One more example you will see. 0.0052. So what is the here non-zero digit? 5. Before this 5, 1, 2, 3. 3 zeros are there. These 3 zeros are non-significant. For us, these 3 zeros are not necessary. These 3 zeros indicates the position of decimal point only. These zeros indicates the position of decimal points. So how many non-zero digits are there here? Only 2, because these zeros you can neglect. So what is the second rule? Zeros preceding to first non-zero digits are not significant. What is the first rule? All non-zero digits are significant. Here zeros preceding to first non-zero digit are not significant. One more example you will see. 0.00055 AMU. Actually it is the mass of electron. It will come in next chapter. Mass of electron 0.00055 AMU. Here How many digits there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So many are there. But zeros preceding to non-zero digit, these are non-significant. So only these two are significant. So how many significant figures are there in this value? Two significant figures. Two significant figures. Okay. Next rule, third rule. Zeros between two non-zero digits are significant. It is easy only. Zeros between two non-zero digits. That means zeros are present between two numbers. Left and right are normal numbers. Between only zeros will be there. Suppose you take 2.005. These zeros, this side and this side are, both sides are non-zero digits. So in this case, these zeros also you have to count. Here how many numbers are there total? How many digits are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 significant figures are there in 2.005. 2.005. One more example I will take. 1.00017. You take this value 1.007. How many significant figures are there? Because it is a non-zero digit, these are non-zero digits. So these zeros, don't neglect these zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 significant figures are there in this number. So you will see next rule, rule number 4. Zeros at the end, if number ends with 0 or right of the number are significant provided they are on the right side of the decimal point. For example, you see 0.200 grams. So this number ends with 0. Zeros at the end are right of the decimal. Suppose you see decimal point is there, decimal point. This after decimal point 1, 4, 3. So like this. Right side of this decimal point, if it is there, all zeros are significant. Don't confuse. Sometimes I am telling non-significant, here significant. Zeros at the right side. Zeros at the right side of the decimal are significant. Suppose you take here 0.200. This 0 is present on left side of the decimal. It is not significant. These zeros are present on right side of the decimal. Right side, right is always right. Right side is right. That means you have to count. Here how many are there? 1, 2, 3. 3. So total significant figures are 3. If suppose 0 is present on left side, you can neglect. Okay. Zeros present on right side only you have to consider as significant figures. Right side of the decimal. It may be like this also, 0.202 or end. If it is, what is this 0.2020? How many significant figures are there? 4 are there. This 0 also you have to consider. Okay. Next. For example, 100. If it is 100.0, how many significant figures are there? 100.0. Yes, right side 0 cannot neglect. It is significant. These zeros are present between this number. 1 is there. So in this case, significant figures are 4. But you see this example, 100. This 100 has only one significant figure. 100 has only one significant figure. Because here 100.0 means how many significant figures are there? 4. But here no decimal. This number does not end with decimal. So here only one non-zero digit is there. So it has only one significant figure. So next last rule, exact numbers have infinite number of significant figures. Exact numbers means most accurate. So for example, two balls means how much accurate this one? 2.0 balls. This one also 2.00, 2.0, 2.0, like this, 0, 0, 0, up to infinite zeros you can write, that much accuracy. So objects, for example, in two balls, number of significant figures are infinity number of significant figures. 20x, how many significant figures are there in 20x? Don't say 2. 20x means that value is more accurate, like this. 20x means 20.0000, like this, 0, 0, 0, this type. So that much accuracy. So infinite number of significant figures are there, exact numbers. So these 5 rules are useful to calculate number of significant figures. Next, scientific notation. We will see next topic is scientific notation. Already I explained you in starting classes. Scientific notation. So exponential notation in which any number can be represented in the form of this one. Actually this number is like this, capital N into 10 power small n, like this, capital N into 10 power small n. For example, charge of electron 1.602 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulombs. So like this type number, capital N into 10 power small n. This n is like this, small n, 10 power small n. Exponential notation. Scientific notation means exponential notation in which any number can be represented in the form of capital N into 10 power small n, where small n is exponent. N value small n may be positive or negative. Small n is positive or negative, but capital N can vary from 1 to 10. 10 also not there, 1 to 9.99, like this. So a chemist has to deal with numbers as large. For example, you take 602, 200, 0000, like this. This number is Avogadro's number. Avogadro's number. 1 mole of any substance contains these many particles. So this much big number you can write like this, 6.022 into 10 power 23. So this notation is called scientific notation. It is here capital N. This is small n, capital N into small n. So capital N number, it varies from 1 to 9.99, this one. For the molecules of 2 grams of hydrogen, mass is this much. That means 1 mole of hydrogen mass is this much value. So this value 0.000. How to write this one? You convert this form into exponential form or standard notation. So you convert this one 1 point something, 1.66 into 10 power. So you count all the zeros and write 10 power minus that number. Suppose how to convert this 232.508. So this answer is wrong in chemistry. In any numerical, if you got the answer like this 232.508, you have to convert into scientific notation. How to write? 2.32. One number only should be there before this decimal. 2.32 into 10 square. So 0.00016. How to write this one? 0.00016. You have to write 1.6 into 10 power minus 4. Understood this scientific notation? So exponential notation or scientific notation, any numbers, any values in chemistry, you have to convert in this form, capital N into 10 power small n. Okay, this small n may be positive or negative. This is about scientific notation. Next topic is dimensional analysis. Small topic only, dimensional analysis. So there is a need to convert units from one system to another system. So sometimes they will give in question one type of system units, but you know the values in other system. So how to convert, that is called dimensional analysis. There is a need to convert units from one system to another. The method used to accomplish this is called factor label method. Factor label method. One more name is there, unit factor method or dimensional analysis. Conversion of units from one system to another system is called dimensional analysis. For example, you take here a piece of metal is 3 inch in inches given. Now what is the length in centimeters? So length, metal plate is there, its length is 3 inch. This is correct only. But we want that same metal length in centimeters. So you have to convert this inches into centimeters. So this conversion from one system to another system is called dimensional analysis. Suppose days given, 30 days given. So how many seconds are there in 30 days? So that is conversion from days to seconds. How many seconds are there in 1 year? So like this. So we know that 1 inch means 2.54 centimeter. Per 1 inch 2.54 centimeter. Per 3 inch how much? Per 1 inch 2.54 centimeter. Per 3 inch how much? So how to get the answer? You know, no need this one. Per 1 inch 2.54, cross multiplication method use 54 centimeters. Per 3 inch how many centimeters? Per 3 inch x. Per 1 2.54, per 3 inches how much? Cross multiplication. You will get 1 into x is equal to 3 into 2.54. 3 into 2.54. You simplify this 3 into 2.54, that is x value, that is x. Next topic is laws of chemical combination. There are 5 laws are there related to this topic. So first of all, we will see law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass. It was proposed by Anthony Lavoisier. Who proposed this law? Law of conservation of mass was proposed by Anthony Lavoisier. This Anthony Lavoisier can be considered as father of modern chemistry. Father of modern chemistry. Law of conservation of mass proposed by Anthony Lavoisier. What is the statement of this law? Statement: mass can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. Law of conservation of mass. What is the statement? Matter can neither be created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. In other words, total mass of the reactants is equal to total mass of the products. In a chemical reaction, mass of the reactant is equal to mass of the products. This law again it will come in another chapter. So during balancing of reaction, a chemical reaction is balanced by using this law only. In exams they will ask, an unbalanced chemical reaction is against to, an unbalanced chemical reaction is against to law of conservation of mass. Chemical reactions are balanced by using this law of conservation of mass. Its statement is matter can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. That means in a chemical reaction, total mass of the reactant is equal to total mass of the products. It is about first law. Second law is law of definite proportions. So definite means fixed proportion or constant. Definite means fixed or constant. Proportion means you can use one more word, composition. Its composition is constant. Its composition is constant. Its proportion is constant. Its composition is fixed. For example, you take H2O, water. H2O, 2 grams water, 16 grams oxygen. 2 grams hydrogen, 16 grams oxygen. 2:16, that means 1:8. It is fixed. Whatever the source, from where you got the water, whatever the source of water, it's inside that water composition is constant. Water proportion is constant, fixed. Law of definite proportion. That means in a given compound always contains exactly the same proportion of elements. For example, water you take H2O, proportion of H and O is 1:8. This was proposed by Joseph Proust. So this is about law of definite proportion. Next one, law of multiple proportions. Multiple, this word is there. Second one is definite. Third law is, third law of conservation of mass, law of constant proportion. Third one is law of multiple proportion. It was proposed by Dalton. If two elements can combine to form more than one compound, here only their twist. If two elements can combine to form more than one compound, means multiples. More than one means it may be 2 or 3. Suppose you take N and O. One element is nitrogen, another element is oxygen. In this combination, you will get NO, you will get NO2. So in the combination S and O, you will get SO2, SO3. If C and O taken, CO, CO2. You take H and O, H2O, H2O and H2O2. So multiples. So between hydrogen and oxygen, there are two types of compounds, chances are there, formation. Actually, strictly speaking, N and O, there are 5 compounds will form, 5 compounds. Here I given only 2, NO and NO2. So if two elements can combine to form more than one compound, suppose S and O combine to form SO2 is one compound, sulfur dioxide, SO3 is another compound, sulfur trioxide. The masses of one element combine with fixed mass of the other element. So what about S mass here? 32. Here 32, here also 32. Is fixed. This is fixed. What about oxygen? Here 32. In second one, oxygen is 48. So you take the ratio 32:48. You will get 2:3. 2:3. Multiples 2:3. This is law of multiple proportion. If two elements can combine to form more than one compound, the masses of one element that combine with a fixed mass of the other elements are in the simple whole numbers ratio. You write the definition by seeing the textbook. Here one line overlapped. Okay. So what is the example for law of multiple proportion? NO and NO2. You take NO example. What is the mass of N? 14. What is the mass of oxygen? 16. Here what is the mass of N? 14. Here 14, 14 fixed. But oxygen mass is here 16. Here 16 plus 16, 32. So 16 is to 32. Simple whole number ratio, that means 2 is to 3. Or 1 is to 2. 1 is to 2. This is about law of multiple proportion. Next one, fourth one, Gay-Lussac's law. Gay-Lussac's law of gaseous volumes, or Gay-Lussac law of combining volumes. So when gases combine or produced in a chemical reaction, they do so in a simple ratio by volume, provided all gases are at same temperature and pressure. For example, I will take one example. H2 plus Cl2 gives rise to 2HCl. This is for gases only. You have to remember, this is applicable for gases. Hydrogen gas, chlorine gas, 2HCl, this is also gas. So if all the reactants are gases, sometimes product also gas there, then what is the volume? 1 is to 1 is to 1. This is Gay-Lussac's law of gaseous volumes. When gases combine or produced in a chemical reaction, they do so in a simple ratio. What is the mole here? 1, 1, 2. So 1 is to 1 is to 2. That means 1 ml of hydrogen combined with 1 ml of chlorine gives 2 ml of HCl. Or 1 liter of hydrogen combined with 1 liter of chlorine gives 2 liters of HCl. Volumes are in the simple whole numbers. So when gases combine or produced in a chemical reaction, they do so in a simple ratio by volume, provided this is applicable if temperature and pressure is constant, same, under similar conditions of temperature and pressure. So Gay-Lussac's law of gaseous volumes. So it is applicable only for gases, So next law is Avogadro's law. This one again it will come in states of matter chapter also, it will come states of matter. One more time it will come, it is important. Equal volumes of gases contain equal number of molecules at standard temperature and pressure. That means if temperature is same, pressure is same, temperature and pressure constant, then volume is directly proportional to number of moles. Equal volumes of gases contain equal number of molecules at constant temperature and pressure. Under similar conditions of temperature and pressure, equal volumes of gases contain equal number of molecules or equal number of moles. This is called Avogadro's law. So next one is Dalton's atomic theory. Here some postulates. Matter consists of indivisible atoms. According to Dalton, matter consists of indivisible atoms. All the atoms of given element have identical properties. That means atoms of same element have same properties. Atoms of different elements have different properties, different mass. Atoms of same element have same mass. Atoms of different elements have different mass. You take hydrogen gas, all hydrogen atoms have same mass. Hydrogen atoms are having same mass. You take one hydrogen atom, one carbon atom, its mass is 1 nearly, here it is 12 U, it is 1 U. So atom of hydrogen and atom of carbon have different masses. So that is about second. What is first postulate? Matter consists of indivisible atoms, indivisible particles. All the atoms of same element have same mass. atoms of different elements have different mass. Compounds are formed when atoms of different elements combine in a fixed ratio. Chemical reactions involve reorganization of atoms. These are neither created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. That means here it is law of conservation of mass. It supports, this point supports the law of conservation of mass. This point supports the law of definite proportion, fixed ratio. Okay. So this is about Dalton's atomic theory. In the next class, I will explain remaining topics. Okay. Thank you.